So if you're ready to start your recruiting process and get on that track to hopefully playing collegiate softball, then this video is going to help, because in today's video, we're going to talk about how to get your recruiting process started and what those first steps are going to look like. So if you're new here, I'm Coach Dan Blewett. In the links of the description below, you should subscribe to my channel, number one. But number two, you'll find links to my online courses for throwing, for mental training, my online strength training program, my email list where I send out new articles and videos like this one every week. So thanks for being here, and be sure to check out the links in the description below. So in today's video, we're going to talk about recruiting and how to get started on the process. So let's jump into it. Number one, the first thing you need to do is identify schools that you might want to go to. And I would say start with a smaller circle. So I wouldn't start, if you live in Ohio, I wouldn't start with California schools. I'd start with, a 200-mile radius of schools that you might like to go to at all different levels. And that would be D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and junior college. So that's the NJCAA. So identifying a bunch of schools from all levels, even if your dream is to play big time D1, and that's a wonderful dream, number one, remember that it's not going to be realistic for everyone, and just because you dream it, it may not come true. So you need to cast a wide net, and one of the important things early in your recruiting process is that you need to figure out how good you are. I have a video, I'll put the links in the description below, about how to figure out how good you are, but one of the main things is emailing all these different schools and seeing who emails you back. So if you only email D1 schools and none of them reply, you don't really have that much information to go off of. Like, could you play D2? Could you play D3? We don't know because you didn't email any of them. So make sure you email. Easy way to do it is pick four D1s, four D2s, four D3s, four NAIAs, and four junior colleges. That seems like a lot of work, but if you don't want to put that work in, then you might not get to play college softball. So cast a wide net, identify schools at all levels, and email them. Number two, fill out the recruiting questionnaires for all of those schools. I will link in the description below. I filmed a video about this last year about how to find the recruiting questionnaire on a school's website. This is really simple, but if you've never done it before, I just walk you through it. It's like a 3-minute video. Basically, you need to fill out that questionnaire because it says, hey, I'm Sally Smith. I'm interested in the University of Kentucky. Here's everything that you want to know about me, because the schools make those themselves, and they say, hey, I want all these references, I want your info, I want your height, your weight, include video links. It's essentially the same thing as emailing a coach. So fill out the recruiting questionnaires in addition to emailing the coach. So I've had lots of contact with college coaches over the years. I owned an academy full of baseball and softball teams, and this would be one of the first things they would do. I'd say, hey, here's a video of Sally Smith, coach, what do you think? And they're like, hey, she looks pretty good. Can you get her to one of our camps? And I'd be like, yeah, I'll suggest it to her. They're like, okay, tell her to fill out the recruiting questionnaire, because now they have all your info. So number two is fill out the recruiting questionnaire on all these colleges' websites. Number three is create an email template that you will send to all the coaches. But here's the caveat. This is just, you're going to templatize the biographical info, not all the other info. Here's the thing. You don't want to have to rewrite, obviously, like who would do this? You don't want to have to rewrite your height, your weight, your school, your coach's name, all that, your graduation class, all that info that's common sense that you want to put in there. And I'll put this in the description below, everything you should write. But you want to put that in a Word document so you can copy and paste that boring stuff into every email. Then it's not very hard to send out 20 emails. But in those emails, even though you've templatized the boring biographical stuff, you need to personalize every email. This is important. Don't just send a boilerplate, hello, coach, my name is Sally. I would like to have more information on your college. No, send out a school that says, hey, Coach Dan, I'm really interested in Minnesota Technical College. I read about you and I love your coaching background. I'm really interested in the school. Like, I know you have journalism as a major, and I'm really interested in journalism. I think your campus is really beautiful. I'd really like to come up and get to know you and talk to some of your players and watch it practice. That shows someone's like actually interested in my school. This minute, maybe, is there Minnesota Technical College? I don't know. But show actual interest. If you're not interested enough to actually spend 10 minutes looking up the school, reading the bios of the coaches, looking into the players roster. If you're not interested in doing any of that stuff, then you shouldn't be going to that college anyway. So don't just email 500 schools with boilerplate email, because they're going to be aware of that. Coaches get tons of emails, and I'll tell you, because I've talked to a lot of them, they will read every email. But if it's just like boilerplate, they're going to be like, this girl doesn't care. So make sure you personalize it. Put some of yourself in there. Talk about the school. Why do you actually want to go there? It's just a good time to figure that out yourself. Before you email a school, figure out if you actually want to go there. If you don't, then don't email them. That's the simple, the short and the long of it. But templatize the boring stuff and personalize the other stuff. All right, send that in your recruiting email. So my next tip is film a recruiting video and put it in the email. This is really easy to do. Now, I'm not sure exactly when this video is releasing, but if this isn't right at the date of release, then there will probably in the description links below be a video that I just filmed like 10 minutes ago about how to create a good college recruiting video. So check out the description links below for that. If it's not there yet, then just check back. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because that video will be coming out shortly. But filming a 2-minute skills video showing you hitting, pitching, or throwing, which are the easiest skills to showcase with like a little pocket radar or something in a baseball or softball academy, you want to film a 2-minute video that's got your info on it, not like sensitive personal info like your home address or your phone number, but just like your family's email, where you go to school, your height, your weight, stuff like that. And if you feel like you need to keep your school and stuff like that a secret, then you can do that too. But again, film a recruiting video that's specifically just to send to them. You don't have to make it public. You can make it unlisted on YouTube and put it in the email. It's the best 2 minutes you can spend, and it's free because everyone's got a smartphone, right? So make a good recruiting video that shows your skills, send it in the email. That's one of the best things you can do to start the recruiting process. So no matter how good you are today, if you're gonna start putting yourself out there, they need to see you. And the easiest way for them to see you and say, okay, yeah, I have some interest in this girl, or no, I don't, is to see you swing, see you pitch, or see you throw. You don't really need to send videos of you, base running or fielding. It's tough. You can do that, but it's tougher to showcase your skills in a short amount of time. And if you're in an indoor facility, it's not as good. They're going to see you field and run the bases, and they're going to see your softball instincts and your character. They're going to see all those things when they come and watch you play. But if they see that you've got a great swing and some pop, and they see you've got good pitching mechanics, and you've got some velocity, and you can spin the ball, and they see that you've got a cannon of an arm, those are going to be enough to say, okay, we might want to go watch this girl. That's all you need to do. You need to catch their attention, show that you've got some skills and some size, and let them take it from there. So after that, once you've identified schools, you've filled out the questionnaire, you've sent them a nice personalized info or email with all of your info so they can follow up on you, and then you filmed a video and include that in there, you're pretty much off and running. And you should do that. Let those fishing lines, those 20 schools you emailed, let those fishing lines soak in the water, and then see who sends an email to you back. Here's the 2 things you need to know. Number 1, most of them will reply with like an invitation to their university camp. Obviously, you can't go to 20 camps, right? So you're going to need to pick and choose if you want to follow up on them. Number 2, that may or may not indicate actual interest. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, because they use those camps as money makers to pay their volunteer assistant coaches, which those are extremely hardworking people and they don't get a salary. So when I say they're money makers, it doesn't mean that they're not good camps. It doesn't mean that they're just BS, a way to like steal your money, because they're not. It just means that they use those camps. They want kids to come because it helps fund their program, and they give a lot of benefits. I mean, they're going to work with you. They're going to watch you, and players legitimately do get signed out of those camps. So they're going to send an invite to almost everyone that contacts them, because why not, right? So just because they send you an email back doesn't mean that they're going to sign you or recruit you, but it does mean, hey, come watch us. And if you feel like you're good enough and you go show them that, you might end up playing at that school. So just understand that's kind of how that works. And lastly, they may not be able to actually talk back to you depending on your age. So if you're a freshman in high school and you email them, they probably can't send you a reply except like a standardized reply. If you call them, they can pick up the phone and talk to you, but if you call them and you get a voicemail, they can't call you back. There's a lot of crazy rules, and you definitely need to dig and do some research into those rules yourself. So don't be heartbroken if you don't hear a specific personalized reply like, hey, Sally Smith, great talking with you. You look like a great second baseman. They might not be able to do that if you're not already a junior in high school. So just be aware, all right? So hopefully this video on how to get started on your softball recruiting process was helpful, because I get this question. I was just talking to one of my softball players from the Midwest today about this. Identify schools, send out emails, fill out the recruiting questionnaire, film a great video, and cast a wide net. That's how you get started, all right? Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Coach Dan Blewett. Be sure to subscribe to my channel below. Check out the links below. Sign up for my email list. That's the best way. You get a free ebook, but that's the best way to stay up on all my new content, because I email out every video that I create, and I send out new articles, all the softball content that I create, along with online course coupons and ways to save money on some of the training options that I have. All right. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.